Viewer discretion is advised for this love-themed podcast. The content may contain discussions and sensitive topics related to relationships, dating, and love. Some content may not be suitable for all listeners, especially those uncomfortable with open and vulnerable conversations. We encourage our listeners to practice self-care and to reach out to a trusted friend or professional if they need support. You have no friends, you have me. Welcome to the Lost Loverboy Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Lost Loverboy Podcast. I am your host, as always, Mr. Demetri, Wiley. Hey, shout out to everybody who put the mist on it, because not everybody do. It's kind of real familiar, real in tune, real in sync with like almost putting two S's on something. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when you put two S's at the end of something. Yeah. I would like to welcome my brother to my podcast. Y'all know I'm real selective on who we bring on. Mr. Brooks Media himself, Shawn Brooks.
What's going on, y'all? Appreciate you for having me, man. And, you know, like you said, it is Brooks Media with two S's.
Two S's.
You ain't at the S, you ain't spelling it right.
You ain't spelling it right.
Right, that's the tagline, but, you know, that's where I'm at, man.
Absolutely. Well, welcome, brother. You know, we've known each other for a good minute now.
Yeah.
And a lot of y'all may be more familiar with seeing his logo on the beginning of all of my music videos because this is the guy, right? This is the Ryan Coogler to my, you know what I'm saying?
Michael B.
To my Michael B. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We've been locked in for a long time. And I remember, man, we first met. I had this song called You. I was like, man, I'm looking for a videographer. And I was looking. And then I seen you had some work with this one young lady. And it gave a real movie-esque feel to it. I was like, I think I got him.
Yeah.
I remember going in there speaking to my girlfriend at the time. And I was like, babe, I think I got somebody to shoot the video, XYZ. It may cost a lot of money, but you know what I'm saying? I think it's worth it. And you know, till today, it turns out to be one of the best things I could have ever done for not only my musical career, but just growth in life. I've learned a lot. And so thank you for being a big brother. I just want to start there. But give us a little bit about who Shawn Brooks is.
Oh, man, dude, that's a...
Hey, for sure. I just want to start there.
That was touching. So, yeah, man, my name is Shawn Brooks, Brooks Media, and I've been doing this now since 2019, right? So 6 years. I picked up my first camera in 2018. Haven't looked back since, right? Like I study my craft every day, right? Like I think that's really important for people to know. I'm not somebody who's like, I didn't pick up a camera in hopes of reaching a certain level of like stardom or fame with it, you know what I'm saying? I picked up a camera because that was the first thing in my life that I've ever been able to do that was creative. I wasn't a drawer, I couldn't color, I couldn't write.
This nigga said I couldn't color.
Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't a dancer, you know what I mean? But when it came to creating a story, I've always been able to tell stories. Even for my college entry exam, I got a perfect score on the writing part, right? I can tell a story. And I think that's probably why you and I had gravitated or linked so closely, because you were one of the first artists, honestly, that I had worked with who appreciated the art of storytelling. Most artists kind of want to just kind of hop in and be like, yo, I want, like, first of all, is it PG, PG-13, rated R?
No, it's rated R, bro. Right here we cuss. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of artists just be wanting hoes, be shaking their ass in cameras and like all that type shit. I wanted to be able to make music videos or videos, period, where if I was to do a music video, my daughter could watch this video and not be like, hey, this is the type of artist that my dad worked with or that he feels is good work. You see what I'm saying? So
everybody that was before me, you wasn't shit. Basically, I just summed up what he said. It was garbage. It's a lot of garbage going around. No, I quit, but please continue. Rumor has it that, like, you know, picking up a camera was like jumping off the ledge for you. Like going out on your own endeavor and saying, this is what I'm going to do. You know, and put my full faith that will carry me. How was that? What were you working?
So I was a digital marketing manager for an insurance brokerage company, right? So just to be clear, I've always had a good job. Like that's
tight shit.
You know what I mean? Like I always had some type of title.
You got that paper. Hey, what kind of car you drive, brother? Rumor has it. Look, rumor has it.
Yeah, I done got something new. You know, the video production company has blessed the boy with a BMW X5.
You feel me? Tight shit.
Very proud of that.
Tight shit. 2040. Tight shit. Tight shit. I feel you.
Very, very, very proud of that. Because to have my art be able to, like, okay, let's start here. Let's start here. I make a change on my art, even though I do videos for you. Like like I know, I don't do a lot of music videos.
Oh, for sure.
Right? I'm very selective with the people that I work with, and shit. If it really ain't you, maybe somebody else. It's slim pickings.
Absolutely.
Right? But for what I do, I raise capital for nonprofits to help them give back to the communities that they serve. Right? That's what Brooks Media does. So the fact that I was able to get laid, and my story's not like a Cinderella story, right? Like I got laid off. I got laid off a week before Thanksgiving, and that forced me to take a chance on myself, right? But I had a severance package, I had a 401k, so I had something to fall back on. But even within, I was doing Uber, I was doing Grubhub, Uber Eats, Lyft. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like
hustling.
I'm a hustler. Always been a hustler. To me, there's no plan A without a plan B.
For sure.
Right? I'm always a person who believes in contingency plans, and that runs rampant even in how I do business now. Like when I go on jobs, it's never a situation where a client can say, hey, can we add this? And I'd be like, no, we can't because I'm not prepared.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Proper preparation
prevents poor performance.
Come on now.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
Hey, it's all about growth and development. It's all about growth and
Hand
development.
me my holy water.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
It's I love what I do. And to put a number to that, right? So it's not like I'm just like saying like, oh, my art does this. Like, no, my videos have helped Black and brown nonprofits raise over $3.5 million for what they do.
Let me clap it up real quick. And I know y'all clapping in the chat. I just know it. Hey, clap it up, man.
Hey.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Hey.
But that's why you're deserving of all that you get. I tell you all the time. It ain't how much you've done. It's how consistent you were in doing it. When it mattered to your life. You were very, very few people inspired me. You know what I'm saying? And you were one of those people who came in at a very pivotal time in my life. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of what I did, which was dropping More for Less Volume 2 and all of these other things, a lot of that was built off inspiration that you gave me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it was for me to say, okay, I'm watching this man do it in terms of being a husband, in terms of being a father, in terms of being a provider. I want to be all those things, when that time rolls around for me. And you were a major inspiration in that. You know what I'm saying? So let's not only shout out what Brooks Media has done, but let's shout out what Shawn the man has done. You get what I'm saying? Because there's a difference. It's a difference in being proud of what you've accomplished and being proud of yourself. You get what I'm saying? And how often do we stop as a Black man to say, I'm proud of what I've done. I'm proud of who I inspired. You know what I'm saying? The beauty in this space that I've seemed to create it is the fact that it allows people to see themselves, which is ironic enough. But a lot of times we forget day to day. That's what we're supposed to be looking at. Sometimes you ever just stopped and looked in the mirror and was like, "Damn, that's me." You know what I'm saying? This is who I am. Like
I do now.
And I recently put something on Threads that said, I truly only ever feel handsome when I'm at the gym mean mugging myself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? I think it's depths to that. Like, it's not that I don't take the compliments or they don't resonate or they don't hit, but I can only truly see myself when I'm actively working. And what other place in your life is a mirror right in front of you to stop in the set? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's some real shit.
And I think, and I know you. I know just from the call you gave me the other day, like, bro, I want this BMW. You know what I'm saying? He said, I want this BMW. I trust your opinion on whatever, blah, blah, blah. He said, what you think? I said, you just answered it yourself. You want it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You worked for it. You deserve it. And I know we look at things like that as just material things. Yeah. But in all actuality, it's a result of this work I've put in. Yeah. And how many times have you went out on a limb to say, I'm going to show myself the results of my actions?
I'm going to be real with you. That was my first time.
Shit.
I'm going to be real with you. That's my first time because a good fraction of my life, when we say a good fraction, a huge chunk of my life, I'm the only child, right? Mm-hmm. So I've always had to take care of myself, but I'm also big on taking care of those around me type of thing, right? Sure. So my whole life, I've always kind of been in this protector provider type of mode. Mm-hmm. So it's like if my wife at the time or my daughter needed something, they're coming before me.
That's first,
right? So I got so used to putting me on a back burner that it was hard for me to spend money on myself. It was always easy for me to spend money on my family and Brooks Media. But when it came to Shawn Brooks, I always took a back seat because it's like, you could use that for something else. Mm-hmm. And it's always like, okay, so are you not worth it? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because if my wife at the time had asked for something like crazy, I'm gonna bust my ass and go get it, right?
Absolutely.
But for me, I will always find a reason not to support myself or not to like celebrate myself, right? So like you said, yeah, like when we look at certain things, a materialistic thing, but for me, this is bigger than this, right? Because this is my first luxury vehicle. It's the first vehicle I've ever had leather seats. Right, It's my first truck, right? So there's a lot of this is the first vehicle I've ever bought that I wanted.
Shit, bro, you lucky I wasn't around in your younger years because I've never been that person. Like, don't get me wrong, I've never been the flashy, you know what I'm saying? But if I want it, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? And it's amazing to hear that because like, I bought a luxury car at like 18. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the negativity that I received surrounding it because it was like even, this is vulnerable. This is honest. I remember I was 18 years old. My mama said, I was like, Ma, it's this Mercedes I like. I'm looking at XYZ. My mama looked me in my face. She said, when that car get repossessed, don't ask for me for help. You know? And, but to give grace, and I think that's what this space is provided for, to give grace, she seen all she knew. That point up into her life, she's never owned a luxury vehicle. Yeah. My mama's first luxury vehicle was a Jaguar I helped her buy 2 years later. You get what I'm saying? So it was almost like a reflection of her own insecurities being brought to present. Now, I am the type of man to go out and spend it on my child or my woman, Facts. Absolutely that person. You know what I'm saying? But I'm absolutely the person that understood, hey, you deserve, you know what I'm saying? You've worked for this and you deserve. And I hate to hear, it's like disheartening to hear that at this age you just now seeing that.
Yeah, bro.
Imagine the blessings you could have given yourself. You know what I'm saying? And the things you could have provided to yourself. I think the idea of it is like, you know, if I never pat myself on the back, and this is real because it drove me to depression. If I never pat myself on the back, and just so happened no one around me is doing it, the weight of them not doing it is heavier. Yes. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I ain't been called handsome in 6 years, but I'm noticing because I don't think I'm handsome myself. It amplifies any negative space that people occupy in your life. And it causes us to not be able to give grace. You know what I'm saying? And I think I know your story a little personal, more personal than others. You know what I'm saying? Even more personal than you can share in public spaces. But I know you're currently going through a situation. You know what I'm saying? You want to speak on that?
Yeah, so...
But take me back to the beginning. Before you even get to the situation, like, what is Shawn Brooks' love life? Like, what was it? Where did it start? Like, you know...
Where did Shawn Brooks' love life start? I mean, so listen... You know, I grew up in a time where, so first of all, one thing about me is, dog, you know, it's the giving grace part, yeah, that's always been difficult, right? But I've always, no matter what size I was, height or whatever, I've always been like, yo, I'm a handsome motherfucker, bro. Like,
this nigga, man.
Like, you know, I've always had a certain confidence
this nigga
in
said,
me.
fuck Humble. Humble could kiss my ass. He said, I look in the mirror and I see goddamn Lance Gross. I don't give a fuck.
Listen, bro, like, that's always been me. I've always had a confidence in myself because, like, you know, like, a motherfucker, like, can't never be like, yo, Shawn, you ugly. I'll be like, shit. You don't even believe that. You don't even believe that. You know what I mean? So, I've always had that. So, but growing up in high school, again, so I'll be 35 in May, right? So the time I was growing up, and it may still be the same way now, but light skin and tall was always the pickings.
Light skin slipping. Light skin nigga slipping. Hey, listen, justice. Nigga just slipping. You know what I'm saying? You ain't quite, you know what I'm saying? I'm listening.
That was the thing.
Tall is still a thing.
And tall was still a thing, right? I've always been, you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and speak. I'm 5'8" on a good day. Right?
What about a bad day?
Bad days, I'm about 5, 7, 8, 9. You know what I'm saying?
5, 7, 8, 9. 6, cause 6, 8, 7. You know what I'm saying? Only here on the Lost Loverboy Podcast.
So,
whatever, let's say.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I had like little like girls here and there, but I had ran. So my ex-wife and I, we went to the same high school. You know what I mean? I was her prom date.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
This is new information to me.
Yeah, we went to prom together.
What high school you go to?
Bronzeville Military Academy.
Bronzeville.
Yeah. Shout out to CMAB. And yeah, that's where it kind of all started. One day, it was our junior year, and she had always kind of like, I don't want to say kept to herself, but she was, you know, she had her select friends. She wasn't like a loud attention type of person.
For sure.
But one day I seen them titties out one day. I was like, oh
this nigga.
It was PT class. I see she had a low cut shirt. I said, oh, well, shit. Wait a minute. You said
right
that's
there, I knew that was my wife.
Right there, I knew. I said, wait a minute. I got something now. And that's kind of where it started. It started junior year, and it's like a lot of flirting and stuff like that. And then she ended up going to school. And when she was in her freshman year in college, that's when we officially had like got together, and it was you know history ever since. Right?
So y'all still got the high school pictures, prom pictures?
That motherfucker. She gonna kill. You know she gonna kill me.
Photo things.
I don't even scared to say this out loud because it bothered her to this day. But we didn't take photos together on prom, which is crazy.
Fucking what?
I don't know, bro.
What color y'all wear?
She had like a because purple is her favorite color, so she like a lavender type of dress on. And I had a black and white tux on, right? So it was kind of like a very last minute thing for us to kind of like, hey, let's go to prom together type of thing, because we had just started clicking, we had hit it off, but it was like, okay, you know, I think we have fun, because the times we did kick it, we had fun together. Okay, you know what I mean? So she's always been like my best friend. And you know, throughout that time, right at 20, we had my baby, who's starting high school this year.
Congratulations.
Fucking crazy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, man.
My baby go to first grade.
Hey.
I'm about to cry.
Listen, they go back quick.
Shit.
They go back quick, brother. They do.
Shit.
I remember cutting the cords to this day, and it's like to see my child, my baby, you know, about to graduate, you know what I'm saying, grammar school, she can go to high school. I
hear you.
That's my little heart right there, man.
God damn.
That's my baby.
Hey, shout out to the babies.
Shout out to the babies,
Shout out to the little lovers of the world.
Shout out to the babies, man. I tell her every day, I say, hey, you my favorite child. She's your only child. I said, no, you still my favorite.
You got it. It works.
It works. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we had her, and, you know, even within our time, we went through a lot of trials and tribulations. Like, I feel like a young couple, you know, we went through a lot of shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even to the point in time, like, I remember at the time, she had just had my daughter. She came up there from Minnesota, and my mom was like, I don't even think that's his baby because, you know, my daughter ain't got sickle cell traits. Because I got the trait. But it's not guaranteed that you're gonna. But like that had really bothered both of us. End up living in somebody's basement for some years, and then, you know what I'm saying, we was living in the hood for like a little bit, and then, you know, I finally got us into a really good like spot. You know what I mean? And I do want to go back to something you had said when you was like, you wish you was around earlier to kind of show me like, or just being around to help me appreciate things more. I feel like you came in a time where I needed you type of thing. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like, I don't look at things as like, well, I wish this was back then, or because to me, I'm still living, right? My life is not on I don't believe in like a predestined thing.
Absolutely.
Certain things going to happen that's going to change your outcome and your perspective.
Absolutely.
So even talking to you, what I had to learn from you was how to take opinions when it came to my art, right? So even like you have been a crucial part of my growth in different aspects of my life, where I appreciate. To me, I think I appreciate certain things more now at the age that I'm in now versus probably what I could appreciate it then.
Damn.
Right. So. I believe things happen to you when they're supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
So you were here.
It made me cry.
You know what I mean? To help me get there where I'm at. So, but yeah, I mean, fast forward, you know, we went through trials and tribulations. Like every married couple got married at 28. I do not recommend anyone get married. And just to be clear, right? Because I feel like sometimes there's a negative connotation when people be like, oh, you just saying that because like you're a divorced man and all divorced men don't want to get married no more. It's more so that you don't know who you are in your 20s. That's just because this is your first decade pretty much of your life where your parents are not raising you and telling you what to do. So you have to figure out who you are, what you like, what you don't like, So I can know for a fact that when I got married, I didn't know what I wanted or needed in a wife because I didn't know who I was and what I needed for myself.
Was there pressure to get married because you had already had a child?
There was hints here when she was like, when we get married, or you better hurry up. Like it was some.
No, fuck the world's perspective. I mean, on your own. Were you like, this is what I have to do as a man?
Yeah.
With a child.
Yeah, because I wanted my family to have the same last name. That was big for me. Because my biological father died when I was a shorty, and then even like the first, like most of my family, I'm like the firstborn male to. I'm like the first male to be around, like they child's life. You know what I'm saying? Like and be there, like with the mom, right? Not like a stepmom, baby mom. Like no, with the mom. So that was big for me. So I really wanted the Brooks name to be like, when we show up, that's the Brooks family.
Absolutely.
Right? Because when my stepdad and my mom got divorced, that shattered my world. And I really I was basically trying to heal my trauma
in your relationship.
Through my relationship, like using my relationship as like a mirror from what I've seen from my parents versus just looking at our relationship as it is on its own.
And that's some shit right there. Hold on now.
You know,
that's a tip for some people, because the idea of life is all a reflection. You know what I'm saying? Your relationship with somebody else is completely contingent on how you see yourself and how you allow it to reflect on others. I was speaking on, and we was recently in the stuff, me and you, and I was speaking on the idea of I dated this woman, and the idea of how she reflected on me, she wasn't privy to. You get what I'm saying? But that's all relationships are. Who do I show up as from my past experience, from my trauma, and how am I now taking that out on my relationship? And I'm going to tell anybody, this is my advice, always judge it with a clean slate.
Yeah.
Always walk into any relationship, any friendship, any XYZ with a clean slate. Like if you got trust issues from the past, that's one thing. And that's where everybody tends to speak. Everybody be like, oh, I've been cheated on and that's making me do this in this relationship. But you not talking about how the relationship your dad had with your mama is affecting you. The relationship, the way your parents used to cuss at each other, and now you think that's acceptable for your next relationship. The way you weren't hugged enough as a child, and now you don't give hugs. You know what I'm saying? So you might be dating someone who grew up totally affectionate or chose to be totally affectionate in adulthood, but because you wasn't given that as a child, you don't do that.
You don't know what it looks like.
You don't know how to give it because you don't know what it looks like. You get what I'm saying? But that's the thing. There's so many layers between the words dating or relationship or marriage. There's so many layers in between those words that you have to be conscious of every single piece of that puzzle. Like, because you didn't is now a chip that's stopping this puzzle piece from fitting with this person.
Your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility.
Absolutely. Subscribe. And check out Daddy Music. Yeah. Now ain't that just the cutest thing you've ever seen? He was like probably two years old in that video, but he's always been the same little supportive guy. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the little lovers, man. Absolutely. That's my baby, man. But back to this conversation. Where were we? I think the idea of it is that more people just need to hone in on the idea that I'm human, they're human. Yeah. And we are all living in a big melting pot, and we all add into the flavors of what life's gonna be. But please carry on in the story. Where were you? You say y'all went to high school together right after prom, living in some basements. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We've been through some shit together. You know what I mean? Like, so learning the camera meant a lot to you. Learning the camera meant a lot to me because it was an outlet. Because I started doing YouTube, right? My first YouTube channel, I was doing like a lot of tech stuff with Samsung. I was working with Lenovo. Like they sent me their new computers every time they drop. I had like over 1 million views on my first YouTube channel. Yeah, money fucked him up. I was cooking. I was cooking. And then people was like, hey, and I started doing vlogs. I started a series called YouTubers I Don't Like. Right? When I was just talking shit, right? And I would just be like, but the way I did it was very tasteful. Like, I wasn't just coming out saying like, yo, bitch ass, like that. Like I would be like, yo, you do this, but also I do like the way you do this. So it was like me just giving a review on YouTubers as a regular consumer,
versus like a YouTuber to YouTuber type of thing, right?
Shit. You ever seen like Cinema Sins?
Yeah.
That shit be funny as fuck.
And people fuck with that, right? Like
intro
when you just,
too damn long.
and it would be like, it would be comedy shit like that, right? Yeah. I was like, you said in this video this, but then I look up at the next video, you got this. What we doing? You know what I mean? But I will always invite them to talk about it on camera. So it wasn't just like I'm gonna throw these shots and then run. It's like, nah, I'm just talking shit. But it's like, if you want to talk about it, we can. And once people start seeing how I start to vlog like that, and me being celebrated for my art was huge. And what I've noticed is too, even as an adult, you know, we could talk about, I guess, like love language, right? But words of affirmation is a thing for me, right? But just to be appreciated and valued, to me, feeds into what I guess like what I internally need, which is security. And I think again that goes back to childhood because I grew up taking care of myself, right? Don't get me wrong, I grew up I had good parents, right? But they were always working, you know what I mean? Which I respect, but I was a latchkey kid, right? So I would take myself to school, get myself ready to go to school, I took the bus, like all that. I had a job. When I got my first car, like I was paying a car note like at 16. I've always been like that type of person. So I think for me, security is let me know that you're going to be there.
Absolutely.
That you're going to be there with me.
Absolutely. It feels safe. It sounds safe.
It's safe, right? And this is also, that leads into why my plan A's always have plan B's. Because I need to make sure that plan A is safe. Right?
That's a hell of a trait for any woman to desire in a husband. You know what I'm saying? A very prepared husband.
Absolutely.
I know I talk about my homie a lot on this podcast, but I tend to surround myself in people who are structured like that because I'm not that. And now let me make it make sense. It's not that I don't plan. Yeah. Because I do. I'm very good at executing a plan. But I'm such a shoot from the hip type of person.
Oh, I know. I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, like, I know. Yeah.
Shawn, in this video, can we ask skydiving? You be like, it's the day before. I just want to jump out of a plane. You know what I'm saying?
Let's just see. Hey, let's just see.
Try. If it don't work,
then fuck it. But I think you gotta try it. That's true. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's who I am as a person. And so I surround myself with people who are a little more meticulous than I am, who have a lot more desire to set up a plan B. Yeah. Because me, myself, I just go off the fucking cliff with it. And, you know, but that's a very desirable trait. Now, what I can say is that a man who always wants to shoot for the hip also probably sometimes goes a little further faster.
I agree. I was just going to say that. I was like, look where that got you now, though. Right? And it's not to say, like, you know, everybody's destiny and their destination is their own, right? But it's like, for you, I feel like it lets you jump more without knowing if there's a safety net there or not. You like, fuck it, I'm gonna jump regardless.
I'm jumping.
Me, it's like, okay, what's the height? Okay, let me do some calculations. What's my weight? Okay, so I'm gonna be falling about this fast. Oh shit!
That torque on my knee.
Hey, listen, I don't know, right? It's like, fuck. Let me plan a little bit. Let me go ahead and get something for my knees just in case. Let me like plan this out. So for me, it's very hard to jump. But because, again, having you in my life now, when you give me like, hey, let's do this, let's try that. As you see, even for my last project, right? I don't argue with you. I say, all right,
bet.
Let's try it.
Shoot both ways.
Yeah, let's try it, right?
Exactly.
So it helps me as an artist be a little bit more free because even in artistry with what I do, me turning my passion into a profit is different from when the first time I picked up my camera. Absolutely. Right? Doing something because you have to versus because you want to is two different things. So when I work with you, I get to work from I want to, right? I get to work from Shawn, just fuck it, let's just try it. For my line of work, I don't have room for that, right? Because my projects and how good they articulate a story, there are people depending on this to raise money. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain blueprint that I got to follow and a structure that I know is efficient that works. And that goes back to having plan A and plan B, right? Like contingency plans is my life.
Absolutely. And I just want to clear this up for the people listening because I know they sound, oh, Demetri's reckless. I know how y'all to take some shit and stretch it. I'm not a gambling man either. You know what I mean by that? Like if I want to jump in a certain direction, I've done the calculations. I just ain't hit sum up yet.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying.
But like within that regard, it makes you fearless and brave, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Bravery is what you do when you're scared.
Absolutely.
That's what bravery comes from.
That's what you display, absolutely.
So you have a lot of bravery to...
Man, I got a tattoo on my arm.
You know what I'm saying?
I got in Jamaica. And it says, I don't know if anybody, I've ever showed this on this podcast, but it says Lifear. And people be like, what does that say, Lafear? And I'll be like, bro, if you put your hand over the Li, it says fear. If you put your hand over the AR, it says life. And life is on the other side of that motherfucker.
That's a bar.
And I thought about it when I was in Jamaica. We was on these like 4-wheelers and they was like, oh, just jump off when we get to the ocean. Like jump off the 4-wheeler and go into the ocean. And I was like, I ain't never been no bitch. I ain't never been no bitch. You know what I'm saying? Salty ass water. But I've learned life is on the other side of fear. And it was also reiterated to me later in life from one of my favorite icons, Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? He's a prime example of that. But to take it even back to Will Smith for a second, Will Smith was one of those people I've witnessed, and he had a certain level of love that I had in my past. Like I've read the Will Smith book, and in the book, you know, I like to read and I like to highlight and annotate and XYZ. And when something stands out to me, and he said in the book, he said, my love for her and how much she knew I loved her was my superpower. It fed me. It made me feel strong. You know what I'm saying? So to take it back, when you speak on, you know what I'm saying, being there for your child or being there for your wife and jumping at the urgency in which she needs you to do something or she wants this to happen, I know exactly what that is because I too had that love for somebody else. Now let me ask you this question. How was that dynamic in your household? With you being such a planned and meticulous person, did you like force that out of your partner? Like, did you question that from your partner? Like, how was that? Because a lot of times, and I hate to, you know, generalize, but I'm not even gonna do it. You're right. I'm not even gonna. Yeah, I am. Fuck this. It's my podcast. We're gonna generalize. Typically, men are a little more planned out than women tend to be. Yeah. Typically. Yeah. Especially when they get married. Y'all know how women be like, I want to leave my brain at home sometimes. Sometimes take your goddamn brain with you. You understand what I'm saying? Facts. But how did that play out in your household?
So how can I say this and be very I guess I don't know, skillful and tactful how I answer that question. I would say that we were in two different dynamics with that, right? She was definitely a kind of like you. She was hey, listen, I'm a jump. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wait, did you at least check if you had a parachute? She's like, fuck the parachute. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump, and I'm like, listen, you don't even know if it's in there, right? At least can we at least check the safety? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna let you jump, but can we? Yeah. You know, so it was. There was definitely a tug of war in some cases with that, right? And that led to certain decisions being made that I did not agree with. And, you know, it was definitely a one side like, hey, I feel I'm right in this regard, and I feel like I'm right in this regard. I think for me, I'll say this. I'll say for me, if your partner has led you to certain avenues in your life that has been for the betterment, to me, it's like, it should be nothing wrong with you trusting them, even if it goes against what you think. Because it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, I think this, but I know this. You know what I'm saying? If you know how your partner operates, I think that you should be aware and conscious of that, and also move in that regard. Because it's like, you know, we're still our own individuals, but I think sometimes, you know, individuality, we try to like take over. And in a marriage, sometimes, like, yes, you still gotta have your individuality, and I think what happens is you sometimes battle with individuality and we, right? Because you have now to start thinking of it as a we, but your selfish side that has not probably got a chance to live out and fully it's like, no, but I want this, right? So now your internal child is screaming like, nah, fuck all that, bro. We want to do this. You can do what you want to do, but this is what we gonna do. So sometimes your inner child is like, we gonna take over.
We gonna jump.
We gonna jump. And we don't give a fuck what he talking about. We gonna jump. Yeah. And he better catch us.
You know, the thing about it is, I think you're saying it too nice for me. Fuck that. Lost Loverboy Podcast. Miss Wiley, let me talk to you for a second. Let me tell you something, baby. When I fold these legs, shit gets serious. I'm not a man who folds his legs, but goddamn it, I'm folding them down. This is what I'm telling you. Baby, understand that as your husband, my job is to not only lead myself in the right direction, but it's to lead this family in the right direction. If I tell you there's a zombie apocalypse outside, don't open the door. Mm-hmm. And you choose to open the door because you do not believe me in that moment, because it seems so unfathomable that it's never happened before, baby. I told you what it was. And this is not me being demanding. This is me leading the family in the right direction. I would never steer you down a path I did not trust myself. If I tell you, take all your clothes off and run in that room where lights off, pitch black, baby, that's what you need to be doing. Because I'm finna run in there right behind you with no clothes on and I'm finna take you down. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to keep it PG-13 for this episode because you know what I'm saying. But all I'm saying is, and that's a big thing in marriage. Not only a big thing in marriage, but a big thing in relationships in general. Yeah. In general. Like I look at the relationship I got with my child. And I remember we went to Disney World same time. Same concept. Mm-hmm. We went to Disney World for my 26th birthday and it was just me and him. And he fell asleep at Disney World and he woke up thinking it was a whole new day. I was like, damn, I took him to Disney World twice. I'm that man. I was like, I'm that man. But I remember us getting on this goofy roller coaster. It was literally Goofy, like the cartoon character. And it went up, and it went up. And I was like, he was like, I want to get off, Daddy. I want to get off. And I was like, close your eyes. You'll be okay. Mm-hmm. You'll be okay. He was like, you sure I'm going to be okay? I was like, I promise you'll be okay. And he held my hand and he squeezed like I ain't never seen him that strong. You know what I'm saying? Like baby Hercules. Right. Like and squeezed. But then when we dropped, he got all the way to the bottom. He said, Daddy, I had so much fun. We should go on it again. That's the kind of blind trust you have to have. Yeah. But, and the thing about it is, and this is for my fellas, oftentimes I don't get to speak to all two of y'all. But I'm going to speak to all two of y'all right now. That's the same blind faith you must have in your wife. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times we feel like as a man, since we have the sword and the shield, a lot of times we don't ask that woman to be your wife if you're not comfortable trusting her to lead you in the dark. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real.
That you can't do it. How is that in reverse?
Oh, shit. Hey.
You got some wine, pour that up. I'm gonna give you a moment. Yeah. I'll give you a moment. Because you're on Lost Loverboy Podcast, we like to hit the soul.
Hey,
you understand what I'm saying?
That was a bar. That was a... I want to get this off my chest. That was a...
It's off now.
That was a bar there.
It's off.
I see why they fuck with you. Okay,
hey, listen,
okay,
man,
okay.
Listen, man.
Okay.
Some shit we got.
All right, listen, Demetri Wiley, you know what I'm saying?
Big one, not the low
one. Okay, so that is... a little, and this is probably where that latchkey security thing comes in at with me being the only child. My inner child is like, yo, you can only trust you, like, unconditionally, right? And it's because I probably have seen actions that make me think like, okay, this is not, and within that same respect, right? It's like, I know my partner's strengths and weaknesses, right? So as a man, my job is to cultivate your strengths and be aware of your weaknesses. And if I know that in certain areas that's not your strength, I'm going to take over, right? Even if you don't know that. So
it's tough.
When you say, I trusted my partner to be the person I knew she was.
That's tough. Because let me put it in a different perspective. The idea of saying I trusted her to be who I knew she was limits
potential.
It limits her room for development. So just like you say, my job is to cultivate her strengths, right? And be aware of her weaknesses. Your job is also to cultivate the weaknesses and grow them into strengths. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? No, hey, when a nigga do this, he too cool. Look, when a nigga do like this, hey, look, he got nothing left. All right, this is all I got. But no, in all actuality, I view any relationship I'm going to have with my wife the same way I view it I got it with my child. You understand what I'm saying? Everything is a learning curve. And the moment I deprive him of that learning curve, a lot of times in my marriage, I'm aware already, I'm going to have to let my wife fall sometimes. Baby, you want to take that business decision? I'm going to put it all on you. But this failure is a reflection on this family. And I'm going to let you know everything is riding. This family is on this decision you make. I'm going to show her how much weight on it. And if it falls, that's something I'm going to have to tell my baby. You have to live with that. How was that?
That was shit.
Bro.
Shit. So that for me, I can tell you right now, because of the person that I am with security, all right, and I told you from the jump how I am, why security is important for me. I can't. Let's not say can't. I won't. It is what it is. I won't allow that to happen, right? Because again, I'm gonna let you get your plan A, and I can trust you to have your plan A, but I got my plan B for your plan A, right? That's me. To me, the provider and protector is supposed to do that, right? So even if you like, hey, this is a full fire shot plan, I still gotta have my what if because I have somebody relying on both of us. I can't accept that.
Now let's not get it misunderstood. Nothing's wrong with plan B.
Yeah.
But, and I've witnessed men do it, they'll step over a woman's plan A to initiate their plan B. Her plan A ain't even failed yet. You ain't even let it touch the dirt. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta let it get low before you kick in. You hit the ejecto-ceto button before the car crash.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm listening.
All right, let's do this, right? So as an observer of your partner's strengths and weaknesses, right? Let's just say y'all driving, right? And it's raining, but you know your partner cannot drive in the rain that well. Are you still gonna be? And she's like, baby, listen, I've been taking classes, I've been practicing, I got the Fast and Furious instructor. I know how to drive in the rain.
The instruction I want you to have. I want you to have Miss Puff. She was safe,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But
but you like, I hear you, but I haven't seen that yet, right? So it's kind of hard for me to blindly trust you when I have not seen what you're trying to get me to trust you for.
I hear you. Now let me ask you this question. Here's my rebuttal. Your daughter's entering high school, no?
Big facts.
At about junior year, sophomore year, you start teaching your child to drive.
Yeah.
You put your child in that driver's seat.
And I'm trusting her because I showed her. That's the difference. I showed her how to drive.
You can also show your wife.
Yeah, okay, true, right? But they gotta be willing to take instructions.
Now, that's a different question. So you're changing it on me.
You
said your wife don't know how to drive in the rain.
But here's the difference. Here's the difference between my child and my wife. I had a hand in developing my child. I did not have a hand in developing you.
And that's the problem. A lot of times we assume we can't.
I won't say we can't, right? But there are certain things, matter.
I think now you speaking on who you were with. Right now you speaking from past experience. Speak on someone who did it right. Because when I think about my wife and my future like experiences and XYZ, I'm not gonna get a rebuttal when I say, baby, this is the better way to do it.
Now, hold on, church. Hold on. I hear you on that. And to be fair, there's one young lady that I hold very dear to me, and she has that level of trust for me. And it's because she showed me that already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you show me your skill set, I'm not going to question it. Right? Because I see it. Right? So if you were like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it blindly, okay. Because I know where you at. But when you know your partner, to me, this goes with knowing certain, like, for example, if you know your child, you know Logo, right? There are certain things, like, because he's also a part of you, you like, I know this is probably what happened.
You gonna fuck that up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, okay, cool, right? And when when you've been with somebody for so long, my ex-wife and I, we used to have for 15 years, bro. Mm-hmm. Right? That's childhood to adulthood. So I know a lot about her and her strengths and weaknesses. Mm-hmm. So if I've been trained to know you, it's not, I don't want to say wrong, but it's not wrong for me to have something in the back of my head like, hey, I know how my person is. I know this may not be their strongest area. So I have to be careful on how I attack this situation.
No, it's not wrong. It's wrong to not let them try it first.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? The thing about it is development only comes after failure.
Yeah, real shit.
If every time I saved you right before you hit failure, I deprived you of an opportunity to learn.
Ooh.
Every time? Right before Logan fell, I caught him and said, no, I don't want you to have that scrape on your knee. I don't want you to know what that feels like. So now when I'm not around and he falls, he gonna lay there.
Yeah, my therapist has something very similar to that. I'm not gonna disagree.
Damn, I'm a therapist? God damn it. No. But shout out to your therapist. You know, shout out to a black man in therapy. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to a black man in therapy.
Absolutely.
But I think that's the idea of it. And when I envision a lot, man, because it's a lot of people who be like, he don't really want to get married. You don't fucking know me, all right? All right, Casey from TikTok. You know what I'm talking about. No, I just fucking around. It was a real negative lady on TikTok yesterday. But whatever the case is, the idea of it is when I envision my wife, I envision who I hope her to be. I hope she is, right? So I don't see...
Ooh, I'm gonna fuck you up, okay?
I don't see rebuttal when I say, baby, I've witnessed this, I've saw this, and I want what's best for you. Mm-hmm. She gonna be like, okay, I understand, but I still want to try. By all means, have at it.
That's the difference. This is where a little seasoned vet come in at. I accept people for who they are, and not for who I hope them to be. Mm-hmm. Right? I can hope I hope my daughter does this and does that, right? But at the end of the day, I know my child, right? And I know her potential. And it's not to limit that potential, but it's also to know a person is to know what their strengths and weaknesses are, right? So as my partner, it's my job to study you in a sense, to know how to navigate when your weakness start to show. How can I get around that, right? Because I know there's no such thing as a perfect thing, right? Mm-hmm. And again, when you are a parent, you're a father, there's certain things you just will not allow as a father, right? It's like, I can't let this fall. I can't let the bottom fall out completely because if I let the bottom fall out completely, that not only affects just me and you, but it affects someone else. So there's really the room for there is a little bit different. So I have to accept
that's subjective person to person. Like your room for margin is different because you might be supplying all the bills for the household. So I ain't got experimental money. You get what I'm saying? I ain't got investment failure money. Yeah. This shit has to work.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? And I absolutely understand that. But the only thing I would phrase differently, because I agree with you, but the only thing I would phrase differently is you said to know your mistakes and understand how to get around them. Mm-hmm. We ain't going around it. We walking through it.
Yeah, okay. That's real.
We finna walk right on through this mistake so you can see exactly where you went wrong. So the next time you know when it's raining, you don't turn left and turn right.
Yeah.
You gently apply the brakes and you slow that motherfucker down. And that's the thing. A lot of times we can deprive our people of that opportunity to learn.
Love them.
Because we love them.
Facts.
And we think just bailing them out of the situation is the easiest thing to do for somebody you love.
I've been that's real shit. I was definitely a safety net for my wife. I was.
Yeah.
But
that may not, and this is hypothetically speaking because I don't know the situation, may not have always been what was best.
And I would agree to that. I'm not even gonna argue that. It's hard though when you love someone and you just like, I don't want to see you fall this hard. You know what I'm saying? That was hard for me. And I've always been someone in my life who appreciated the fact that people can rely on me. So that's like a gift and a curse, because when somebody know they can rely on you, that means you're always a safety net for somebody.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. And people can subconsciously take advantage of that.
Fucking blatantly.
Or blatantly.
Fuck subconsciously.
Yeah. Blatantly, right? Or they may not even look at it like, because there's some women who would feel like, yo, as my husband, you're supposed to do this, right?
And that ain't my wife. I already know Miss Wiley ain't like that.
And for me, right, so there were years where I took care of everything, right? Mm-hmm. Because some women think like, oh, there's no man out here to like, hey, listen, there's something I did it because I wanted to provide and protect my family and shelter them and etc. So I took care of bills, and when I say everything, I mean everything. Mm-hmm. Even, stuff that was extra, where it's like had nothing to do with like household stuff. You want to go out, here's some pocket money, you want to go out, take a trip because you really need to go do this for.
It's a good man, Savannah.
Good man. Like I'm a firm believer of like, if you are holding my name, I got you, right? Mm-hmm. But I have to see something from you also to let me know that you got me in that same breath, right? Like, to me, I don't want to ask you to throw me a lifesaver if you see me drowning. I want you to come get me.
Can I ask you how long was that period?
4 years.
You said what?
4 years. 4 years. 4.
Let me check your volume, see if I can.
Yeah.
My headphones. You said how long?
4 years.
4 years?
4 years.
Like freshman year, sophomore year, junior year?
Yeah, like all the senior year. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 years.
You took care of everything for 4 years.
Everything for 4 years.
You're a good man. You're a good man. The thing about it is, see, our generation, our generation, because you're a millennial. Yeah. Our generation tends to believe that that's what a man is supposed to do. Yes. But, granted, I think that's what anybody is supposed to do for who they love.
Facts.
That's
we live in a different time now, right? Like, when motherfuckers was back then, a lot of women were like, oh, yeah, I want a man, because back then my grandma didn't have to, back then your grandma can't even vote. B.
Let me cook them real quick. Listen, let me tell you something. About this whole what a man used to do versus what a man do now debate, let me cook y'all real quick. Sure. Your grandfather, your great granddaddy took care of everything. Goddamn, chicken was 10 cents.
Combo.
Goddamn, the average means to an income, how much you bring into a household has not even doubled, right? But how much expenses has multiplied by 5. So the weight of what that man now has to bear to take care of a woman
is different.
It's different. And understand, every man is not a dual man. It's not a duality man. He's not going to come home cook. Mm-hmm. He's not going to clean. He's not going to do laundry. A lot of those men still believe they can function how men did back in the day.
Facts.
The ones who did pay for something. But let me tell you something. A lot of women back then were grateful just to get shit paid for.
Facts.
These days, you could do it and never hit thank you. And I don't think people understand how far a thank you goes to a man. I don't think people understand how far I see you, I appreciate it, let me give you some head.
And listen, let's add to that, right? Let's add to that. I want to add to that because thank you are just words, but your actions show that. Mm-hmm. Because I can say thank you to a motherfucker, like, thank you, right? You gave me some, like, you got some wine, thank you, right?
Appreciate you.
You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, right? But, like, what else comes with that? So, like, to me, if you're my partner and you say, like, thank you, hey, you can look me in my eyes, hey, thank you. You a real motherfucker, I appreciate what you did for me, right? But it's like, okay, now I told you what I wanted to show your appreciation. Are you talking to me? Like, I think the problem is, man, a lot of times with partnerships, people love you the way that they want to love you versus the way you're asking them to love you.
Love languages for sure.
Right.
And the thing about it is, let me ask you this, because that gives me like you said it earlier, I think you said words of affirmation. Mm-hmm.
And physical touch. That's when I had to make sure.
Do you feel like you were rewarded in words for all you did within your marriage? Do you feel like you heard, I'm proud of you, great job on XYZ, thank you for...
Again, I did. I'm not going... One thing I would never do is like take anything away from like her, right? Even though, we have like our moments, ups and downs, because after being together for so long, there's definitely, we have to relearn how to be friends, right? Because we've only known each other for one way for so long. So there's definitely like a learning curve with that, right? But one thing I would never do is like take certain things away from her, right? And I will honestly say She definitely said like, I'm proud of you, you know, and you've done much, and you know, etc. things of that nature, right? But for me, it was again the action that comes with that, right? Because just think about it, like it's a motherfucker that you probably know, like, yo, bro, I'm gonna get a job. I promise you, I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna get a job. You look up 4 years later, and they still ain't got a job, and it's like, yo, I've been giving you money to help you get the job. I done took you to resume building class. So at what point are you gonna show appreciation for what I'm actually doing for you? Because at a point, it's just words. So it's easy to say thank you, thank you, thank you. But at the end of that, it's always you just receiving still. So there still has to be some type of action that correlates with that, and not just a thank you, right? So it's cool to have words of I appreciate you, but okay, what else are you doing to show your appreciation?
Absolutely.
It's not just words, right?
So what would you have to like done?
Good question.
That's everybody's question. I seen you.
Yeah, so I am somebody like a physical touch, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Touch on me. What you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Touch me. But like I would have liked like more touch, right? Like more affection. And truthfully, right, I kind of knew at younger age that was like a struggle, but she started to get better and progress like over the years. But it also still like kind of like wasn't enough. So it's kind of like a motherfucker who been like, yo, bro, just imagine a motherfucker who was probably working at McDonald's making $16 an hour, and then they went up to like $18 an hour, like a shift lead. It's like, damn, bro, like I jumped up a lot. And it's like, yeah, you jumped, you did, but it's like you still can't pay your rent still. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I appreciate the value, or if you will, of I appreciate the efforts that were pushed in, but it's like I feel like I am still giving a lot, and I'm still not getting what I asked for, because I always kind of it always came back to, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's like you're not doing what I'm asking you to. So for people out there who be like, yo, I'm a good wife, I cook, I clean, I do this and do that. But if a man's just saying like, hey, I just need you to hug me for 15 minutes when I come in and just greet me at the door with a kiss and a smile, and you like, man, I don't do that, but I still do these other things. It's like, you're still not hearing me.
It doesn't matter.
It don't matter, right? Because the moment you get with a motherfucker who do what you actually ask them to do, it negates everything that somebody else is doing, right? And, you know what I'm saying?
You know, that takes me to a point. I know two things for certain. When I get married, everybody be like, you're a man of words, you're a man of words, you rap, you make music, you do poetry, you XYZ. Two things I know for sure. One, I'm never going to create vows unless I memorize them, right? So that's, you know how fucking fast music come about. I don't even write it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in my head and it stays. But another part of that is making sure my vows are so subjective to this woman standing in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so on point with who she is and the love she needs. Yeah. It ain't just gonna be through sickness, through health, it's through them times your stomach be cramping on the right, and you know what I'm saying? It's very, very specific. So that when I need a reminder, I can go reiterate those words I made when we signed up for this marriage and remember exactly who this woman is I'm supposed to be loving on. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times we forget that we are only, all we are beings holding space in the realm of love for this person. Because hypothetically speaking, or in reality, everything's temporary. Yeah. And if everything is temporary, me having you here today, or you having me here today, or me having her here today, it's all contingent on the way they love us. You get what I'm saying? It's all contingent on who they show up to us as today. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The moment your job stop paying you, you're not going back. And the thing about it is, we sit and we question. We question why so many marriages end in divorce. Because yes, sure, you're a wife. You're just not the wife I need. Yeah. And if you're not the wife I need, none of it matters to me. It's hard to remain a husband when I'm not supplied, and vice versa. Because there's a lot of men out here who do not know their woman to tend to their woman. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's largely overlooked idea. But, you know, I again, this is all new for me. I'm still looking to learn the story. Where do we progress after this? Where did we go after this?
So
years of not working.
It was one day I came home from a job. I came back from one of those jobs, either a medical conference or whatever client. Like I travel for work. Brooks Media travel for work.
Two S's. You ain't spelling it right.
Come on now. But one day I came back from a trip, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Like I got into the car. Every time I came back from a trip, every time I came back from a trip, it's like never just like a hey baby, happy to have you home.
It's hostility.
It's like an
energy.
It's an energy, and like I feel it. I'm like, damn, bro, like what's
nigga?
So,
you get a vacation.
So it's like, what's up?
And you working for real.
Yeah, and it's like everything that I do, it's like I'm providing for this. Like I'm trying to provide. You know what I'm saying? Be the best that I can. And I understand there's a difference between being a provider and a great husband, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not present, it doesn't matter how much you're providing, right? So I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware of that. That's why we went on dates at least once a week or once every 2 weeks. I made sure that my wife, and I'm not one of those, you just plan it. Oh, I was planning them too.
How often did y'all go on dates?
Like I said, either once a week or once every 2 weeks, or I say at the very least twice a month. Twice, 3 times a month, at the very least.
Hey, listen, for couples who've been married over 10 years, from what I've heard, those are good numbers.
Listen, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we had a great time together. We were going to porch and smoke, drink our wine, and we just talk, right? This one time I came home, and it was a simple, like, this one, you know, this shit has been piling up. Because I had a stressful day, I had a long day, I got through with the client, then came straight back on a plane, headed home. So we was from the smoke, and I wanted to go first, and it was like, well, I can't go first. I'm like, I just told you the type of date. You can't let me, you know.
Damn, it was that small. Y'all that bitch like, let me hit it first. No, let me hit it first.
And it went, and she just straight asked, like, are you happy? And I was like, no. Right? I didn't hesitate. I didn't blink an eye. It was like this is my truth. I am not happy. And she was like, well, neither am I. Let's call it quits here. And I was like, okay. I was like, now you sure you don't want to like go to therapy and try to work this out? Her exact words was, nah, I'm good. I said, okay.
See, my dumb ass would have been like, she was like, you good? You happy? I'd have been like, no, my back hurt a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's a hell of a way, you know, especially to hear. This is what I'm gonna say, and I know it oh so well because I'm that man too. The only way you gonna see if the grass is greener on the other side is when you go your ass over there and it ain't. Ain't no looking over the fence. A lot of times you can't get too close to the fence. You gotta go test it out. But let me tell you something, and this is for all my ladies listening. A lot of times we leave a great thing to go see if we can go find a good thing. Right? And I'm not saying that's the case at this point, but this is what it brings me to. It brings me to the idea of you'll never know how good I was until it's a memory. Until you're reflecting back on it.
Memory. That's a bar.
That's real. You know what I'm saying? Until you play a song and you're reminded of me. Or until she go out on her own porch and gotta light that blunt. Yeah. And she forced to hit it first. Ooh. It's different. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I only can speak on it because I've been there. I'm somebody's great memory. You feel what I'm saying? And no, it doesn't make me feel great or grand or beautiful because in my opinion, a lot of situations you could have gotten it right. Yeah. You could have worked and communicated and gotten it right. But the thing about it is we always fail to reflect on something that while we're living in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be clear too, right? I know one thing I do know from you, times that I have seen, so I get this off my chest, right? It's communication, right? So I do want to make it clear. It's not like I was not speaking up on what my issues were. Like, you know, I spoke of my issues every year that I had issues with it. Throughout the months, I'm doing quarter check-ins. Okay, how can we do this together? Like you said, how can I cultivate you? Okay, It's like, hey, this is what you're trying to do. This is what I do. You put this plan together. It's like, it's also like still putting a ball in your court, but it's like letting you know I'm here. Right, when you're ready to pass it, I got you. But you got to at least do this part here.
Absolutely.
Right? Like how bad, you got to show me how bad you want it so I know how far we're going to go with this type of thing. So it's like, I wasn't like or to say something like leave it be like, no, it's like, hey, I'm checking in. I'm telling you how I feel. Mm-hmm. And it's like at a point, if it's still not being heard or rectified in a way that I still feel like I would like it to be, then it's just kind of like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
It's about how it's received.
Yeah.
And I think we got to understand this, right? Everybody be like, a relationship is a 2-player sport.
Not always.
Even if you got 2 players, if one don't want to play, we failed. You feel what I'm saying? I can communicate and tell you my problems, and I can tell you everything that's going on with me. But if you fail to receive it, if every time I pass you the ball, you look away, you ain't trying to score.
Like I said, like, don't look at me in the water if you see me drowning and for me to ask you to throw me something to save me.
Throw that shit.
Come get me.
You feel what I'm saying? Jump your ass in here, because that's exactly what I would have done for you.
Absolutely. And I said that too, right? Like I said that, I was like, hey, there's certain things I feel like I didn't have to ask you because it's like, I wouldn't ask you. Like when,
Here's the best question in the room. Here's the biggest question. If the shoe was on the other foot and the roles reversed and you had to take 4 years off of working, and here, this, how you answer this question tells me all I need to know about the marriage in its entirety. Could it have worked the other way around?
If I don't think there's no, and this is not to just to say specifically to her, right? But if there's no woman I would feel like that will accept a man for 4 years that's not contributing to like a financial piece, right? Or not dicking them down the way they want to be dicked down, and have a parent living with them for 4 years, right? And still be like,
the parent was there?
Yes.
Whose parent?
Her parent, her mom.
Lived with you?
Yes. It was a.
So it was you, the daughter, the wife, and
the mom. Yeah. And I love my mom to death, honestly, like a second mom to me, right? But it's still, to me, that's still a lot to, there was a lot of pressure.
It's still weight.
Mm-hmm. Right? Because it's like now, not only if I fuck up, it's not just me, my daughter, and my wife. It's like me, my wife, my daughter, and your
I'm
mom.
burning this whole thing.
I'm shit.
It's
a lot of pressure, right? So with that, and knowing that there's a piece of you that's not happy, but you're still handling the fact that you do not want to have your child go through what you went through, because when my parents got divorced, it broke me. So that was a real tough.
That's guilt.
Yeah. All right. And I remember when we told our child, it broke her. Right. When we told her we was in divorce, it broke her. And I'm like, I remember that shit like to this day, how it made, and I'm like, I never wanted her to feel how I felt.
I remember I told Logan, he looked up at me, he said, "What?" He know what the fuck was going on.
It's different when you got a teenager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my baby, when we thought it was, I forgot, I want to say she was like 13, 14, and no, 13 or 12. Like, yeah, 13. And it broke, like I remember, and I was bawling, bro. I'm like, fuck, like that's my baby. You know what I'm saying? I never want to see her be that hurt again. And it also brought back my childhood hurt in that same breath. So it's like, I did not want her to go through this, but it's like, if I don't get out now, how as a parent can we say, like, live your life, be the best, and it's like, you're not even doing it yourself?
Yeah, and there's a lot of people still together in their 40s and 50s and 60s, and they're miserable.
Miserable, right? There's a lot of, I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. There's a reason why over 50 to 60% of marriages fail, right? But I'm gonna be real with you, every brother that I talk to that's not happy in a marriage, I always come back down to one thing. Well, two. Usually it's they taking care of everything, but also their wife ain't fucking them like that. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you, right? Like, I don't know. When we first get with y'all, you the porn star that we've always wanted. I want to put it in my ear. I want to hear you coming. Put it in my ear. I want to hear you know, you doing all type of stuff. But then it's like, for me, it's like almost like when you get to a certain point, it's like, yo, we family. You can't be none of your family's face. You going none of your family face? You can't. You can't. You can't do that to me no more. What? I'm your wife. You think you gonna do what? Do what? You know what I'm saying? It's like every brother that I know who was there's a lot of brothers I know who are not happy in their marriage currently, and it's usually because of the same thing. It's like, and it's not like, to be real, it's not like men get worse at being providers or being the man that you knew. When you first knew me, I was doing this, doing that, but now I'm doing this on top of what you probably already knew. But you've gotten to a comfortable place where it's like,
that's going up and it's going down.
Yeah, right? I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. If you have a husband, if you have a guy that you're interested into and you're not fucking him on the regular, it's not gonna last. That's just who we are as nature. And I know you have someone say like, well, what is he doing differently? Well, it's a reason why no, it's just natural for most of them to. Every married man I know said the same shit. Yeah, like, bro, when we first got together, she was a porn star. Now I'll be lucky to smell it every 3. I remember one year, bro.
I hear that shit a lot.
You know what I'm saying? One year I went 9 months without it, bro.
You went what?
9 months. 9 months.
Did she at least get you a pocket pussy?
No.
She ain't even gift a nigga with a pocket pal?
Yeah, it was
God
9 months. 9 months. And it was like, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that was a year for me. I'm
so,
like, all right.
Can I use my fingers real quick for some math? You would take care of all the bills.
Yeah.
Her parent lives with you guys.
Yeah.
You weren't getting sex for 9 months.
Yeah.
And you were married.
Yes. Like, to me, if you don't want for nothing, I shouldn't, like, there's certain things I shouldn't want for.
Welcome to my house. Well, our house. Welcome to the Lover's House. A Discord room I specifically created with you in mind. You're a lover, no? Why else would you be here? Why would you click this link? Come on now, stop playing. See, this Discord space is like no other because it stems back from our original Clubhouse days. Shout out to all the original Clubhouse members. If you know, you know. We had 4 to 5 hour conversations about love, healing, mental health, heartbreak, everything under the sun. I got to share space with a number of beautiful people from around the world. And we even were able to get together for our very first event like this past January. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, see, this Discord has space for everyone. Whether you're sharing heartbreak journeys or learning from somebody else in Love Lessons channel, or you're selling how proud you are of your children, dropping their fundraiser in the Little Lovers chat, whether you're developing a gym routine in Sweat Society, overseen by my brother Justice Hunt. Make sure y'all follow him on Instagram at I am Justice Hunt. He's incredibly skilled at what he knows. He will be dropping tips in there to help you. Or you may be in Skin to Skin, developing a skincare routine. Or you may be in Wellness Check because you need to be checked on because you're battling something serious. And y'all know how much mental health means to me. There's Prayer Warriors where you will be gifted spirit when you need it, gifted the word when you need it. There's so many chats, Passport Pals, where we're currently developing a trip. I'm saying we outside. You understand what I'm saying? We're outside all 2025. You feel what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, it works in tiers. There's a dreamer tier where you have access to a number of chats. Then there's lovers where you get all chats, plus you get Monday movie night. Who wouldn't want to live stream a movie, grab your blanket, grab your snacks, and let's watch 50 First Dates? Or Boomerang, or A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, some of the most. Come on now, you know. And there's a poll where you get to vote on what movie you want to watch that week. It's a beautiful thing. Then there's Thursday family functions. Very similar to what we did on Clubhouse, where we get to know each other and offer space for people to be vulnerable enough to share their stories, and we learn from each other. But this one has video. See, you know what I'm saying? Hey, tuck them bonnets. You understand what I'm saying? This one has video. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm going to make sure I'm very prepared and presentable on the next family function. There's also random game nights. There's so much. It offers so much. And then there's the premier tier. In this tier, it's soulmates. This tier offers a number of things outside of Discord. Free merchandise. Yeah, I ain't talking no 20% off. I'm talking about free merch. Every time a new product is dropped, you will receive it first. Y'all been asking about these brown hoodies. Soulmates, they on the way. You understand what I'm saying? Free. And then events I throw in Chicago or any other state, soulmates will be invited with VIP tickets. You understand what I'm saying? VIP placement. Also monthly check-ins.
There will be monthly check-ins, me and you, one-on-one. We sit down and you tell me what's going on with you. I tell you what's going on with me, and we vibe. We get to know each other on a more intimate level. There's a bunch of things I could tell you. You understand what I'm saying? But you got to go check it out for yourself. Join today. Let's connect. Hey, man, shout out to the Lovers House Discord. Y'all see what's going on. It's a lot. The Lovers House is very, new for me, but I think I love the way it's working. We recently had our first Monday movie night, man, and we watched Thin Line Between Love and Hate. It was streaming. It was almost like 100 to 150 people. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. It was a chat section going on, and we was arguing about the movie and XYZ, and they kept telling me I act like Martin. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it nothing but a little bit. But, back to this conversation, my brother. I agree, though. I think a lot of times the roles switch in relationships, not even roles, but the idea of how you show up. You think you need to show up in a different manner because time now contributes to what your relationship is. And that's not always the case. Maybe I still need exactly who I signed up for that first day. Maybe the way you fucked me on that honeymoon need to be the way you fucked me on my 50th birthday. You get what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is women be thinking all men want is new. Maybe it's consistent.
It's consistency, bro.
Maybe it's consistent.
And I think, let's talk about that, right? Because I teach this to my students, right? I am a teacher as well. I teach this to my students that consistency is exactly what it said is. We are the people that put the quantity on it, right? Mm-hmm. If consistency can be once every Thursday at 6 o'clock.
That's it.
But I know I'm getting something on Thursday.
5:30, I'm hot.
I'm ready for you, right? That's what consistent look like. Mm-hmm. Consistent doesn't always have to mean like, okay, I got a fucking 5 days, shit, I'm tired too, right? But it's like, I need you to put the same effort in that you putting in at work here with me too, right? Like, I'm not giving you no less, so I shouldn't expect no less,
Absolutely.
Right? Just be consistent with me as I am consistent. If you can consistently come home and no shit is good, I should consistently come home and no shit is good.
Absolutely.
I need that same level of trust in that, right? That you have in me, I need that in you. And in the way that I want it. If your thing is like you want to make sure that no matter what you are cared for, you're provided, you don't have to worry about certain things, then what are you doing for me? Like, just because like I'm your husband, what do I get just because I'm your husband?
That's a question. That's a question, because the thing about it is, a lot of times women say, you're my husband, it's what you're supposed to do. But how many times do you say you're my husband and this is what you deserve? Let's talk about it.
I don't hear that often.
Let's talk about it now. Because the thing about it is, there's a natural weight that gets placed on our back, but there's not a natural weight that gets lifted. And I think a lot of times
you talking like big folks.
Hey, not the little one,
hey,
not the little one.
Okay,
but and that's real though, because just as guaranteed you are to your luxuries of a wife, I should have those as a husband. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And this is, ladies, I'm not attacking you. I never would, because the same works vice versa.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask you this question: how many times have you been in a relationship? And I can't ask you. You've been 15 years locked down. How many times? And it might count to you though. How many times have you stopped and self-reflected and asked yourself, how better am I? Fuck that. How better is my partner without me in their life? Is my partner better off without me? Am I a burden or am I a compliment? Because the thing about it is, people believe, this marriage is supposed to last because that's what we agreed to. Mm-hmm. But at what point are you now voiding your obligations in the original contract? You said through sickness and health. I got sick last week. You ain't even brought my back. You ain't give me no medicine. You ain't put no tea on. You know what I'm saying? All the things you used to do or you signed up for, you've forgotten. It's still your responsibility. Yeah. And I think that's why I go around saying all the time, the most important thing to any relationship is being present in who you are to the relationship. Yeah. Me going out and bringing the bacon home, cool. You get what I'm saying? That's great. That's fine. That's dandy. But are you present enough to say, okay, baby, I know last week I bought a bag. This week, this month, I'm not even looking to buy anything. Mm-hmm. What do you need? You'd be surprised how happy a man is for a woman to go out and spend his money on him.
Nigga.
Hey, you know what? So what's funny is that was the thing, right? So being, the breadwinner for so long, at a point, it's like I'm buying my own shit for myself to a certain extent, right? And it's like, I even said at a point, and it's such a double-edged sword because it's like, yeah, I don't mind, but it's like, at a point, I'll just be happy even if you just got me some shit just because, even if it's with my money, just let me know that you thought about me.
You thought about me.
That's it.
You thought about me.
That's all.
It could be socks, drawers, tank tops. Goddamn, I go to the gym. It could be some goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Some arm wraps. Just get
some. Hey, the thing about I know you be getting calluses in your hand from the weight. Say, let me go ahead and get you.
As a man, we tend to appreciate the smallest things because in our childhood we didn't get much.
And we couldn't show that too because especially if it's a black young boy, you can't show.
Come on.
You can't show any time.
You can't be too happy. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Nah.
You can't be too happy. You vulnerable.
So I remember, bro, I was, and this is crazy. I was in tears damn near when on one sweetest day she had made me my favorite dish and brought me some flowers. I'm in that motherfucker like, it was, like really feeling it because it's like, man, you brought me some flowers. Mm-hmm. Like, and ladies ask it too, like, do men like flowers? Yo, bro, we like to be thought about just as much as y'all do. That's it.
We don't give a fuck what you buy,
man.
It could be anything.
You about them motherfuckers some hot pockets.
Man,
like, your favorite hot pockets.
Hey, listen, babe. I bought you a new charger for the remote. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. As long as you thought about me, you thought about my hobbies, my interests. Baby, it can be anything. I can go get a new car. You can buy a keychain to go on my key. Man, I'm excited in the motherfucker.
I see you playing your game. Sometimes be hitting the button stick, so I bought you a new controller.
Come on now. Button's crusty than the motherfucker.
God damn.
And she bought you a new controller. And I think that's a similar story. And I've told that on this podcast before. It was a birthday of mine. And it seemed like, as black men, you know what I'm saying, birthdays just roll around. I ain't gonna say as black, as black man. Because most of the time, if you got a man, you're appreciated. But even as a black man in a relationship, your birthday just seem like another day. You get told happy birthday, and if a motherfucker ain't got nothing to do with it, they ain't gonna do nothing. My last relationship, I walked in the house, and she's pregnant at the time. I walked in the house, it was balloons with our pictures hanging from them, and she ain't bought me nothing more than my favorite candy. I was in tears. Nigga, I watered all of those sweetest fish and let them live. You understand what I'm saying? I created an aquarium for these motherfucking fish. I in tears, bawling, because I was thought about.
That's, and I don't think people realize the weight of, because at that point in time, the moment that you feel thought about, just for a split second, it takes a lot of weight off you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I will say for my birthday, she made, big deals on my birthday. Like, at least ask me. But like you said, we get so used to just being just like in provider mode. It's like, shit, whatever, bro. Like, if you do something cool. If not, as long as your birthday come, I got you, right?
Exactly.
So I think the problem is, and I feel like we got to take some accountability in this too, as men. Mm-hmm. We are so used to putting our stuff on the back burner that when our spouse starts to do it,
we don't appreciate it.
Oh,
for sure.
But it's like, are you doing it yourself, right? Like you're showing me by how you show yourself how you want to be treated to an extent.
That's about being conscious.
Yeah.
Everybody keep talking about, damn man, you done read this Will Smith book 4-5 times. That's what Jazz told me the other day. She said, you've been reading this Will Smith book since I met you. But what they don't know is when I felt like nothing in the midst of my depression, my child's mother bought me that Will Smith book. And I read that book. I done read that book 6 times now. Just because of how much the book was there for me when I needed it. Yeah. How she showed me a level of appreciation when I needed it. And that's the depths of the shit people don't see. You know what I'm saying? But we too have those core memories, and I agree with you. A lot of times we begin to believe we're worth less, so we accept less. And even when a motherfucker do come in and bring you more, you undervalue it. Yeah. In that moment, and you can't even say thank you the way it truly hits home. And that's a powerful sentiment. So I'm gonna ask you this: what's next for Mr. Brooks?
Ooh, what's next? Right now, I get to live my life as me, right? I'm a dad, right? But I was also a husband. But like right now, because my baby is getting older, like, when my baby's 18, I'll be 38, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still got a lot left in the tank.
Got some youth.
You got some youth in me. Mm-hmm. I just want to explore who I am. I get a chance to live for me as an individual now and I get to be selfish with me. And I've never had that in my life, right? And speaking of that, I was actually very transparent with my daughter about that, right? I was like, hey, listen, I'm in a new phase, a part of my life that I don't know how to navigate yet. So there may be things that I mess up on. And I'm like, like, if I did something, I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. This is new for me as well. So there's going to be some bumps in the road with me learning who I am as an individual because I never had the chance to do that. It's always been us. It's always been us. So now when I get to say it feels so good. It's like, shit, I don't want to let that go. So sometimes there are going to be selfish moments that you have, and you just have to be cognizant of that. Sometimes even being in selfish moments, those selfish moments can affect others, right? Absolutely. Even if you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like friendly fire. It's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Like, you may not mean to do that, but you still shot him.
You still killed two people.
You still killed two people.
You deserve to go to jail.
Right? So it's like, okay, I'm going to have some bumps in the roads, relearning how to ride this bike, but I promise you, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm just looking forward to the journey and process of learning who I am as an individual. And it's not to say like, and I do want to make it clear, it's not like I'm totally against ever finding my true person type of thing again, right? But I get to live free in a way that I never have, right? Like, because my youth, like in my 20s, I was a father, like the whole, father and a husband, right? So now in my 30s, I get to just be, right? Like, if I want to go take a trip somewhere, I just can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, fuck it. Like, I don't got to be like, oh, damn, what if my lady want to go? I could just be like, yo, fucking, I ain't never been to Bali. It's Tuesday, fuck it, let me go. Right? Especially because I got the flight benefits. I can just go pick up and just, you know what I'm saying? So I get to, like, right now, I just been traveling and just being selfish with me, man. Like, that's what's next for me. Exploring what selfishness can look like in a healthy way.
Well, sounds like you're learning to appreciate self. I wouldn't even call it selfishness. It's a different life. You now living with a different purpose.
Yes.
It's not the burden of provider or the burden of protector or the burden of, you still live with that child in mind. You still live with your child in mind always. But you took weight off.
Yes.
You can hit a lot more sets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You could, your reps are a lot higher because you took weight off. And sometimes as humans, we need to take weight off. And not only that, but there's so many people who are experiencing divorce around your age.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who's just now finding that person they couldn't be at 21. And, excuse me, but a lot of times people think that's dangerous or it got to be unhealthy. It don't.
We are the people who put time limits or barriers on where we should be. The only thing I would say from what I've learned is that I tell you this sort of to my little cousin, right? Because I am older than y'all by a little bit, right? And it's that don't rush marriage in a sense, right? Don't rush the process of finding your person. I think sometimes people be like, yo, we've been together for 3 years. Like, why we ain't married? We've been together for 4 years. Why we ain't married? If you think about this as an investment piece, right? Out of 3 years, it's hard for me. Like, I don't think nobody should say after 3 years, I know I want to spend another 35 with you. Like, that's tough. Because I don't know. Like, you can sit there and say, like, as a foundation and core, right? But you kind of only know this person for them at this moment. But what happens when the person that you know is not the person you know from 2 years from now? Is it still the person that you still want to say, like, I got 35 more left with you?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, y'all, fuck that. Miss Wiley, bring your ass. You know what I'm saying? Bring your motherfucking ass. You got 6 months to decide if you want to be here for the rest of your life or not. You got 6 months. You understand what I'm saying? That's less than a full fucking pregnancy. But no, I absolutely understand what you're saying. And I think a lot of that comes in seeing people in different situations.
Yeah.
And knowing that, and this is not me trying to tell you what it was, but from what I've seen, Shawn got to learn Shawn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shawn has to learn Shawn without the trauma that came before it. You know? And now you've grown and you're this man who can afford. You're this man who can relax.
Yeah.
You're this man who can provide. You're this man who can do all of these things, but these are things you have not done for yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Now you do it for yourself.
You get what I'm saying? And this is for all the fellas. A lot of times, in a lot of different situations, we have men who've been through that.
Yeah.
Because they suffer from something different. My childhood was a lot different from yours. You know what I'm saying? I witnessed both parents together, early age, never separated. Don't get me wrong, they don't make it great or beautiful or grand. It just provides a different perspective. And with that different perspective, I feel like I've had and I feel like we're closer in experience than we think. You know what I'm saying? And not to say anything either one of us went through was a setback, but what I'm saying is we're at a similar point. You know what I'm saying? You've lived something I can't wait to experience. I lived something you're just now beginning to experience. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, listen.
Hey.
Listen, brother, this is what we call, it's because you already know where I'm going with this. This is what we call growth and development.
Growth and development.
You know what I'm saying? On Larry, fucking you talking about. You know what I mean?
No,
yeah, but
sure.
it's so funny. It's so funny that you said it because there's some people who like, I don't want to say envy, but like look at other people who have like this and that, but like, man, I wish I had that, right? But you have something that you can, like, so for me, you have something that you can still obtain. You have something that I missed. I didn't get a chance to experience young adulthood as just an individual.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's a part of my life. And me and my ex-wife actually talked about that, right? And that's how we came to an amicable decision. It's like, yo, we haven't experienced life without each other, truthfully. Right? So how do we know how can I say this? I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. I haven't lived life.
I don't even know what life is.
I don't even know what life is. I don't even know who I am.
I don't even know what I want. Yeah. I
you know what I'm saying? Like one of my homies, shout out to my homie, man. She one of my favorite people in the world right now. And she had said some shit to me that really hit me. And I was like, I can't even get mad at that. 'Cause you're right. She was like, right now, you're still seeking validation from other women versus the validation from yourself being enough. And it definitely did mean something to me at a point where other women were like, yeah, you are a good man. Like, you do this and do that. Right? But me saying that should be all that I need. I shouldn't be out trying to seek it. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And when I went through my trial period, my divorce, I was definitely going through that where it's like, you know, I was like, man, bro, listen, when I got off that leash, I was out. I was outside. I was outside, but it was just like, to me, in an unhealthy way, in a sense, right? Like, and not even realizing this may sound cliche or corny, right? But it's real. Like, soul ties is real. Not realizing even the women I was coming across that I was interacting with, I started to carry some of their, you know, because I'm just out here trying to be like,
you take a little bit of every soul you lay down with.
Absolutely. So once I had to right now I'm at a really good stage of regulated emotions. And I don't think people realize how far regulated emotions go. Regulated emotions even go to your financial spending, right? Everything. How you handle situations and everything. So now I'm at a point where I can emotionally regulate stuff and not look at it from like, quote unquote, I deserve this. But it's more so like, do I want this? Do I like it or do I love it? That's what we teach
y'all. Do I like it or do I love it?
So right now I'm in a healthy space, man. Whereas I'm like, I don't need someone to tell me how great that I am. I know the value that I bring not only to myself but to the world.
Absolutely.
And I love it here.
Well, my brother, I'm happy to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I would say a lot of times in moments like this, you don't know whether to say congratulations or I'm sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? But I think in a lot of times,
okay.
A lot of times they run simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? Because you lose something, but you gain something else. You know, so I've known you for a very long time, and I absolutely admire the man you've become. You know what I'm saying? And just me knowing you. Because a lot of people think, oh, because you're older than me, I can't be in awe of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I can only learn from you. I can't watch you develop.
Yeah.
But no, I've watched you change in the years of, You know, and that's just not the work we've done. That's the person you are. I've watched the way you speak, even on shoots of the work we done, or even on, you know, in conversations when you reflecting on other people. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So to that point, congratulations. Congratulations on the journey of you out here finding yourself. I think you came and you added a lot of value to this podcast, just like I knew you would. I'm proud to be your little brother. We have a lot more work to do.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And one day I'm gonna be getting up on stage at the Grammys and I'm gonna be like, this ain't for me, this for Shawn. You gonna run your ass on up there and you're gonna be like.
But for what it's worth, brother, you have come a long way.
Yeah, I try.
You've come a long way from the young man that I met those years ago. You should be very proud. And I look up to you. I'm inspired by you as well. Like, to me, I let go of the age part where it's just like, yo, he's younger. It's more so like, yo, this is a good man.
Absolutely.
Period.
Thank you.
Even as a father, right? Like, you're a great father.
Thank you.
And you're a dreamer. That's huge.
We're gonna do it big.
You're a dreamer, bro.
Every time.
You know what I'm saying? And I look for you for advice on just how to think from that realm, because I'm so used to thinking from a calculated realm.
Absolutely.
Sometimes everything can be calculated.
But when you put them motherfuckers together and you get a calculated dreamer, you know what I'm saying? You get videos like Be Mine. If you have not seen it, please check it out.
Hey, come on now. Come on, you get videos like Loyalty.
You hear what I'm saying?
You get videos like Underrated.
You get you.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you get a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And soon you will have Lost Loverboy, because we finna start working on that. I'm super excited for it. Come with me. Hey, look, I'm excited as fuck. And thank you, my brother. And Granny, listen, I speak about you every episode. Today will be no different. I love you, baby. That's all I'm going to say. And to those out there watching, peace out. I think it's time I finally try to find myself. I've been running from love, just trying to hide from all this pain I felt. Look, trying not to be the joke in the deck of whatever cards get dealt. They say a star still got to let them align themselves.